abilities, and we are just taught that we're nothing but lumps of clay that breathes and walks, and we need to change that whole paradigm quickly, because and it is happening. People are getting more psychic. That's actually what one of the points of Time Wave 2013 is about, how we're getting more psychic, and synchronicities are increasing. I don't know if they are for you, but I'm getting 5 or 6 synchronicities a day now. And
yes.
If a synchronicity is happening to you, you better wake up and pay attention, because somebody's trying to tell you something. And so a lot of people aren't even aware enough to know that they're having a synchronicity.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I'm noticing that you also, in a sense, you are talking about the evacuation of the planet, and that was interesting. Actually, that's one of the major reasons I invited you on the show. I have a friend who has read a lot of your work and looked at a lot of your work, and she encouraged me to invite you. I was not that familiar with your work, but I did hear that you were talking about the evac of the planet, and so that piqued my interest, because I realized that you were getting some of the same information we were. And so, this is fascinating what's going on. Our evidence says that, first of all, one of our whistleblowers has spent a great deal of time with the Aborigines, by the way.
Really?
And that person is extremely psychic and able to communicate quite well. He's also interacting with these beings, these visitors. Some appear to have left. Some appear to still be here. But there are also other races here. I mean, other beings from other planets and other planetary systems. Do you acknowledge that?
There may be. At this point, the Anunnaki have pulled so many tricks on us that, using genetic recob to make different beings and robots and all sorts of crazy stuff to try to throw everybody off the track, that, I certainly can't deny that there's other races in the universe, but whether there's other races messing with us. At this point, I got to, just for the sake of Occam's razor, I've got to go with the fact that the Anunnaki are so advanced that they're just the ultimate trickster, the ultimate coyote, and they're just playing games with us all the time. So I don't know. However, I can't deny it, and I do have to wonder where the people from Tiamat, the exploded planet, where the asteroid belt is, where they went, if there were any survivors of that race. And so that would make it, the Aryans are from Mars, and then of course we have Earth peoples, and there may be the Tiamatians, I don't know what they call themselves, lurking around. That certainly seems to be what's going on with the strange stuff.
What about the reptilians and the Greys? Are you aware of them?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the reptilians are the Aryans. And I think that the Greys are some kind of genetic creation of the Anunnaki for whatever reason, to gather up people's souls or to scare everybody. I don't exactly understand what the Greys are doing and what the abductions are about, but I certainly believe they're going on, and I'm not doubting that there are Greys.
What about the takeover of planet Earth? In other words, yes, there is an evac. What about the idea that there is a race of beings, first of all, that is not just the Anunnaki? In other words, that the reptilians themselves, there is a strain of reptilian. There's also, from what I understand, a combination reptilian Anunnaki, in other words, humanoid reptilian. In other words, there are many, many different races of beings. Now, I understand that you feel that the Anunnaki are tricksters, and certainly they are. All the beings out there, if you leave the 3D reality, then your powers of being, abilities to be a trickster, increase 100-fold, right?
Oh, so infinite, actually.
So just look at how nefarious humans are, and you can just extrapolate from there what other beings are capable of, whether or not they use the power, all the things they're capable of in deceiving us for service to self. Are you aware of that notion, the service to self versus service to others concept?
I am. My take on this is that, how do I say this? That we are not who we think we are, and the reptilians are certainly there, but we have the reptilian in us too, by the reptilian brain, and I know that the ritualistic aspects of our rulers would seem to indicate that there is a reptilian type of source there, because reptiles frankly love ritual, and they can't do anything without it. And that's one of the ways you can tell that you're dealing with the reptile, or at least the reptilian mind, is that they're just really into reptiles. If you've ever watched reptiles, you can see they go through a little dance every time they go hunting, and you know what I mean? You play the flute, and they'll rise up if they see the flute moving in a certain pattern. That's how they do the cobra dances in India. And so, yeah, I think there is a reptilian part, but also we have to realize that they may be trying to scare us from the serpent, because in fact the serpent, or the serpent power, is the key to our spiritual realization, and the Kundalini I'm talking about, and so I don't want to cast serpents or anything into a bad light, because there's a really good aspect to the whole serpent power thing, and I think we need to get that out, and so that when people's Kundalini is awakened, their psychic powers are awakened, they can actually see who's who and what's what. And I think that that's the number one secret that they don't want us to find out about, is our own innate ability.
And so I'm going to assume that you've spent time meditating, because I myself have joined the chakras and had many samadhi experiences, and I'm an advocate of doing so. So obviously you're aware of that. You're aware of that's why I played the clip in the beginning, because you're talking about the activation of the golden body, which is in essence the light body, and that takes you into interdimensional travel. As you say, you can see, it gives you second sight and all the powers that we actually have, sleeping powers, that the Kundalini is actually the way to activate all of those things.
That's right.
So in studying also the texts in India, you would have also come across that, right?
Oh yeah, well I've been a practitioner of yoga and deep tantric meditation for decades, and had several Kundalini awakenings in my life, and if you can get into a deep samadhi state, and what I call fall into matter, allow your spirit to fall deeper and deeper into the substance of the universe, is ether, if you will, you can actually attach onto the Akashic records, and you can begin seeing history. And I could guarantee you that if you do that, and I'm not the only one who's done it, so I've compared stories, there is definitely some kind of freakish reptile in our history who's been messing with us. And people who have taken ayahuasca have also reported meeting these dudes, and they are serious, and they're seriously scary. So, but they're easy to control, because again, their ritualistic nature makes them succumb to what I call asymmetrical war. So what the reptilian is trying to get you to do is to react in a ritualistic manner. So, it's sort of like, you're in a bar and somebody comes up to you and, starts pushing you around and calling you names. And of course, the reptilian mind says, I'm going to react, I'm going to bust him in the head or whatever. But that is what the reptiles expect from us. And what I think we need to do now is do everything in an asymmetric manner. Whatever it is that they want us to react to, we need to do the opposite. So they want us now to
taking
they
back.
want us now to, right. They want us to